Good evening. It's good to have you guys here. My name is Sola, and then we are here for another wonderful section, wonderful time. Um, it's good to have you guys here joining us. So, um, I want to see you guys participate. Just say hi and tell us where you are joining from. Um, Abdulrazak, hi. Good evening. And when are you joining on? So you can just drop where you are joining us from in the chat, please. Okay, today we are going to be talking about how we are going to be integrating security checks into our infrastructure template using the AWS CloudFormation, irrespective of the level that you have with your AWS journey, either the beginner level or you are somewhat intermediate state or you are in the advanced level. You need to be conscious of how your IaC template. So that is what we're going to be doing for today. And okay, thank you, Muhammad from Somalia, Samson from Lagos, and then Elizabeth from Lagos also. So let me just talk a bit about our speaker for today. His name is Ukeme David, and then he one of our top guys in the community. He has been really active in the community for over the years now. He okay, thank you. For those of you that are dropping your messages. Hello guys. Oh, I think my laptop froze. Okay, I'm really sorry about that. I'm really having slight issue with my internet, but that has been fixed now. So okay. Yeah, thank you all for joining. I'm back live now. So I was trying to explain that
Hello everyone. Where are we joining from? Hello Gbemi, how are you for today's session? Welcome Mohammed. So we have, as usual, we have our study and series session. Can you hear me? Edmond, you're saying no audio from this presenter. Can others hear me? If you can hear, can I get see an I? Edmond is saying Edmond is joining from Lagos. Edmond, welcome. How is the weather like in your place you're joining us from? I'm joining from River State, Port Harcourt. Hello, Daniel. Nice to meet you. Welcome to today's session. So we want to do a little play before we start the actual session. Okay, Edmond, glad that you're able to hear me now. So we want to do a little get to know each other. We want us to tell you we want you to tell us one interesting thing you want to take away from this session. Thank you, Kennedy. Kennedy says that I am audible. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. You said you can hear me. Okay, that's perfect. So tell me one thing you're looking forward to take out from this session. Let's get it in the charts. Let's see what you're able to, what you aim to get out from this session. For me, I want to learn everything about infrastructure as a code, to know how to upgrade my security, to know how to improve and become a better security personnel. As we are in the cloud now, if you're not careful, you can lose lots of your access. And when it comes to cloud security, there are various parts and areas. If you only focus on one part, you may be attacked from another angle. So we have to be able to be versatile, know a little or know in there, have an in-depth knowledge from of all the areas and all the services. So what about you? What do you aim to get out of this? Our today's session is integrating security checks into IaC templates using AWS CloudFormation. Oh, thank you, Kennedy. You said you aim to learn about the best practices in IaC security integrations. That's nice to hear. That's from Kennedy. Let's get it coming from others. If you're on this call, let's see what you're planning to get out of this session. For today's session, so a little story. Our super speaker for today is running a little late. He had a power issue and he's unable to join, but he's trying to fix it up and be able to join us soon. So while we wait for him, let's get to know what you want to take out from this session, what you're looking forward to, and who is going to be our prize winner. So there's been a trend. There's been some particular sets of people that are always attentive during sessions, and then when we play the games, they're always carrying our AWS credits and they're packing it home. So who is going to break that jinx today? We want to see a new user getting this prize today. We don't want the same old, same old, same old. So the beautiful thing is that whatever quiz we're going to set is going to be covered in this session. We're not going out of this session. As long as you pay attention, as long as you're attentive, you'll be able to get something. Yes, Mayawa said he's winning. She's winning today. Oh, Mayawa has won several times. I think this is the second time. That's Mayor. Mayawa always comes as Mayor. Mayawa has won once. I know Mayawa is fine. I know Mayawa very well. So, Gbemi, how are you? How has today been for you? Let's hear from you, Gbemisola.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I can. I can hear you. It seems like your village people don't want you to be on this call.
Hello,
Guys,
can you hear me?
Sola's village
Blessing.
people are after him. His network is faulty today. So, Gbemi, what did you do to your village people?
Seriously.
They are attacking you. Is it DDoS?
Actually, right?
Yes, but your network is still unstable.
Okay. How is my audible now? How is my now?
Your audio is perfect.
Okay. So I don't know what I did to my village hub. for
Okay,
that.
while we are
So
still trying to get me on the call, your network is still a bit shaky. So Mayowa, yes, definitely, there's nothing wrong in you winning again today. Please aim for that. But the rule we have is that when someone wins more than twice, we get to give another person. So definitely, everyone is encouraged to be part of the game. From Abiola, we say he aims to learn about integration and implementation. From Edmond, he's looking forward to learning the security aspects of IaC. And as you can see, I'm pinning them. From Abdurazak, he said he just wants to have an overview of how to use CloudFormation or any tools for IaCs, pending to when I will use it for my next project. One very interesting thing, when I was learning about cloud, trying to get the nitty gritty, understand everything. When it came to cloud formation, it was a bit tricky. Like I kept, it took me a while to really understand what cloud formation is all about. When you're talking about cloud formation and the whole template thing, and it has that little trick with it. So it's really good that we are breaking it down today and we're talking about the how to integrate security on it when you're going to use a template to run your code and all. So it's a beautiful thing that's also reinforcing my knowledge and helping others understand what cloud formation is all about. So I'm very excited that we all are here today. So Gbemi, have your village people released you or are they still holding you
uh,
back?
okay, I think I'm back. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes. And we can see you clearly. You're
All right.
shining like the superstar that
Yeah.
you
Let me start by telling Mayowa that I really need to upgrade to MTN 5G. I think I will
Yes,
need
he
to do
needs
that.
to come to the brighter side of life.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
needs
sure,
to.
seriously. So, about the question you asked me, that how was my day and everything like that. I'm really excited to be here. For me, despite being the moderator and everything, I want to learn from the speaker because the first time that I'll be trying to use cloud formation, I had some problems and everything like that. Some blockers. So I hope everything will get settled here in terms of security aspect and everything. So yeah, I'm open to learning from the speaker. Blessing. Hello. Okay. I think it's blessing now. So yeah, let me take back my wheel. So I hope you guys can hear me. Please, if you can hear me, just drop it in the chat that you can hear me. I'll be waiting for your response. So we are doing this while we wait for our humble speaker, and then while we wait for him, can you guys hear me, please? I need someone to acknowledge if they can hear me. Okay, thank you very much, David. Yeah, so we wait for our speaker. Um, Blessing was trying to cover for me by asking expected from this. I believe most of us in the section that are live now are familiar with IaC, infrastructure as code, and then we are talking about making use of AWS CloudFormation to do this. And while we are using it, we need to know some of the security checks that we have to integrate into our IaC template, and that is why we are having Ukeme to take us through this. So let me just quickly give you guys the our speaker's profile. Our speaker's profile. Ukeme is a highly skilled professional with a promising future as a leader in this our cloud DevOps, and also is involved with blockchain development. He has a strong track record in the industry, and he possesses over 4 years experience in website development and more than 3 years of experience in multimedia. Yeah, he's into multimedia too. He has successfully managed complex deployments. Ukeme is skilled at optimizing workload on AWS. He ensures seamless operations and resource utilization. He makes use of cutting edge tools and methods. So Ukeme is also dedicated to creating streamlined and resilient what system. Uh, Ukeme is also an active member of the cloud security group. Yeah. We have Ukeme here. Yeah, good
Hello,
afternoon, sir.
Higher,
hello.
higher,
Ukeme,
higher.
welcome.
My people, my people, my
Yes,
people.
your
Yeah,
people.
it's glad
We
to have you
you.
here.
Hi guys. How's it going? Should we just jump right in, or is there any
Yes, please,
more?
Ukeme, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Please, we
Okay.
are ahead of time, so
Okay,
we
so
can just
I'll just start with the presentation. Great. All right, so
okay.
integrating security checks into IaC templates using AWS CloudFormation, presented by Ukeme. So looking at this now, this title might sound very bogus, for some people who are very new to AWS and cloud or anything DevOps. But we would clear all of this. It's very easy to understand. IaC, I'll explain what that is. We'll work on templates. We won't do anything practical, but I'll show you a code base that we can play around with to get. And then we would talk about cloud formation and try to demystify it, right? All right, so the next slide, I have to be very fast. So, what is IaC? So, IaC basically means infrastructure as code. It is a key component in modern software development and IT operations. It refers to the practice of managing and provisioning computing infrastructure through machine readable scripts. So that sounds like a very, you know, bogus thing, like I said earlier. But let me explain what this means. So it means your entire infrastructure can actually be abstracted to just code, right? So if you have an EC2 instance, that EC2 instance can be abstracted to code. If you have an EKS cluster, that's Kubernetes cluster, you have an S3 bucket, which is for storage, all your RDS, all of that, you can provision them through pure code. You don't need to go through the CLI. You don't need to, you know what CLI is now, command line interface. You don't need to use the CLI. You don't need to use the console, the management console, which is the GUI for AWS. You can just write code, and that code can be deployed, and it will provision every single infrastructure you outlined in your code. That's it. That's basically it. Abstracting infrastructure to code. That's what is IaC. You hear that a lot in DevOps. So next, okay. Why is my next slide not showing? Next slide. Okay. Blessing. Please, my next slide is not showing. What's going on? Hello? Okay, it's back up. Okay, so my slide is back up. Let me go back one step, or two steps back. Okay, so one step forward. Yes, so you know what IaC means now. It means infrastructure as code. Now, why is that important? Why should I consider using infrastructure as code? I'll give you four outlines, right? So the first outline basically is that automation. Automation. So you IaC allows the automation of infrastructure provisioning and management tasks, reducing manual intervention and minimizing human errors. What does that mean? So that means that as humans, sometimes if you're tired, you can just make one mistake. Maybe write a comma somewhere where you're supposed to write a full stop, or just make some mistakes because you are human. Humans are prone to mistakes, right? And so it's best to basically just automate your tasks. if you are going to be using it again. If I'm going to be provisioning 5,000 or 200, or let me just say 10 EC2 instances, right? I can't be manually doing all of that one by one. I'll go to the console, create one, go to the console, create another one. It's just so, what's the word to use? It's so taxing. And with DevOps, one of our major goal is to automate every single thing that is repetitive. If I'm going to be repeating anything, I'll just instead just automate it. A few buttons and then everything will run and stay in place, right? So automation is one thing. Consistency is another thing. So IaC ensures that infrastructure configurations are consistent across different environments, which is crucial for reliable and predictable deployment. So you have your script, right? You have your YAML file or your stack of CloudFormation. It is consistent across board. You just, when you're working in a company, they probably might have a standard of how they do things, right? And you want to keep to that standard. So they would already have a template that they use, and this is how they do it. It has to be consistent, right? So that's something that IaC does. It gives you consistency in your deployments, right? So next slide. Why is it taking time for my slides to load? Yes, the next thing is version control. So infrastructure as code can be versioned using tools like Git, enabling developers to track changes, collaborate, and roll back to previous configurations if needed. So if your infrastructure is as code, it means you can push it to GitHub, right? If you can push it to GitHub, it means you can have different versions of it. So if there's an error anywhere, you can always, go back to the previous version. You can always, aside going back to the previous version, you can always collaborate. You can share that code with other people. They can run that same template on their own infrastructure anywhere around the world. So there's consistency. Yes. So that's it for version control. So reusability. So IaC templates can be reused for similar deployments, saving time and effort in creating and configuring infrastructure components. I think we've covered something like this before. If I have an EC2 instance, I want to create an EC2 instance or an S3 bucket, I already have a template somewhere. So for me, it's just to try and deploy that template, and that template will just do what I need to do. I can reuse that to Kingdom Come, right? So scalability, it's IaC makes it easier to scale infrastructure up and down based on demand by modifying the code. So if I have, let's say, a Kubernetes cluster running like 3 or 4 nodes, and then something happens and I'm like, okay, I want like 8 nodes or something. It's just for me to go back to my template and just change 4 to 8. I just change 4 to 8 and that's all. So it's easy to scale and modify your code or your components or your infrastructure because this as code is very flexible, right? So it is very important. That's the standard actually. We as learners, we create our infrastructure through, or we create our resources through, let's say, the command line or maybe through the management console. But standard, as a DevOps engineer, companies use infrastructure as code to make things consistent, scalable, and automated, right? Next. That brings us to CloudFormation. So CloudFormation basically is AWS's service. Is a service. Oh, okay. All right. So something is going on with my lighting in the house here. Something strange is going on with my lighting. So just pardon me. So what is CloudFormation? CloudFormation is a service provided by AWS. Provided by AWS, it allows you to do infrastructure as code, basically, and you can do this in a declarative way using templates. These templates are written in JSON and YAML, right? We all know what JSON is, and then we know what YAML is. Okay. So this is AWS service used to infrastructure as code to create that. Next. Okay, so security considerations when you're creating a template. These considerations are not just for IaCs or CloudFormation. Is across board, across anything AWS. You should consider this least privilege principle. Only grants the minimum necessary permissions. I think my light is back up. Great. Grant only the necessary permissions to any user or resource. Avoid over permissive policies that might lead to security vulnerabilities. You should have known this because in most of the sessions, if you follow the previous sessions, this is like is a consistent factor there. Principle of least privilege, right? And then there's secret management. So avoid hard coding sensitive information, your passwords, your API keys, your whatnot, anything sensitive. You should avoid writing them as code because if you push your your API key to GitHub now, anybody can just take that API key and play around with whatever resources you have there. So the best thing in that case is to use AWS Secret Manager or AWS Parameter Store to securely manage and access sensitive data. So secure configuration, verify that that's number 2 now on the lower left corner. So verify that all resources instantiated by the IaC templates are configured securely. This includes settings for encryption, encryption in transit, encryption at rest, your access control, that's your IAM and whatnot, and then network configurations. Okay. And always also make sure that you have continuous monitoring so you can, check your API activity and you can use CloudTrail and AWS config for that. I'm in a rush. Next slide. It takes a while for this thing to load. It just don't get it. So I'm going to share a link now of a template that you can just go and check because that's the template we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about this template. I'm trying to get the link. So I'll put that in the chat somewhere. Okay. Give me a minute. Okay. All right. So I would assume. Okay. Right. So why is implementing secure template designs important in AWS CloudFormation? Make sure you note this. It ensures the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of resources. It's as simple as that. That's why it's very important. It makes sure it ensures that there's confidentiality, there's integrity, there's availability of your resources. Just note this. There's a reason why I said you should note this. My next slide is not loading. I have no idea why. Okay, so it's back up. Yeah. So let's analyze the vulnerabilities in this code base. I'm going to share my screen and then I'll run you through the templates that will now analyze the vulnerabilities there. while I am trying to get that, I'm going to give my colleagues a link for them to share in the chat. All right, so let me share my screen. Share my screen. Bit. Okay, can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, give me a thumbs up. Great. So now where is it? Oops. Give me a minute. Trying to get. Okay, so now this is a template. This is one template. I'm going to. Okay, this is one template. Now this template basically will bisect it. So what is happening here is we want to deploy an EC2 instance, and this is how we do it through CloudFormation template. Basically a YAML file, right? So the first line here is basically just telling us the version of the template. The second line is saying resources, meaning we want to create resources. This block says that we are creating resources now, and my EC2 instance is the name and the type of the EC2 instance, right? This is supposed to be, this is saying, this type is saying, okay, I want to create this resource, which is an EC2 instance. The properties of this EC2 instance, if you know how to create an EC2 instance from the console, then you should understand most of what's going on here. So it's now saying that the properties is I want a T2 micro. I think the T2 micro has one VRAM, one CPU, and yes, 1 gig RAM, and I don't know the size of storage, but those are the specs, right? So and 2 security groups. Okay, if I comment the security group out, we'll know that there's now more vulnerabilities. I can basically just use just this and deploy, right? You know, but it means there's no security group, and security groups are very important in terms of like your inbound and outbound rules. What traffic do you want to allow into the system? Do you get? So here now, SSH security group means, okay, we have an SSH security group attached to this EC2 instance. We also have an HTTP security group attached to this EC2 instance, and that's why we have the ref here. So this ref basically means we are referencing it another block, right? So on the line 8 here, it references line 11, and on line 9 is referencing line 21. We'll go through everything. What this entire thing is doing is deploying an EC2 instance. It's giving it 2 security groups, one for SSH, one for HTTP, and then it's also creating an EIP, which is an elastic IP. If you just create an EC2 instance normally on your console, it gives you an IP address, but that IP is dynamic, right? So meaning if you kind of like stop the instance and start it again, it's going to give you another IP. But what we want to do is that we want just one IP, kind of like a static IP, but in cloud we call it an EIP, which is an elastic IP, right? So before we go there, let's now talk about this block. This block here is security group block, right? For SSH. When you try to tunnel to use your terminal to tunnel in to your EC2 instance, right? So SSH is basically on port 22, and that's what you're saying here. You say the description is saying enable SSH, right? Which is your security group for ingress. Ingress meaning traffic coming in to the instance, right? And the CIDR IP, this basically just means this is the IP address I want to allow. And 0.0.0.0/0 actually means allow everybody from anywhere, as far as the traffic is on port 22, which is SSH, come into my instance, which is not secure, right? We do this a lot, but it's not secure. HTTP security basically just means www. That HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol, right? That's like majorly web, right? HTTP, and then HTTPS is now the secured version of HTTP, right? So if you're doing www.n, is basically using the hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, so we need to secure that also. So the security group for that is this, and HTTP basically on port 80, right? So port 8080, kind of like that. So here too is still saying the CIDR IP is allow everybody come in, as far as you're coming through HTTP, come inside the instance will allow you, which is also not secure. And then here now we have my EIP. We created an EIP, and then this EIP is actually referencing my instance, right? So I think, yes, it's referencing this EC2 instance. So what that literally means, do I have any message? Okay, I don't think I have a message. Okay, so what that literally means here is that I'm going to create an elastic IP address and then attach it to my EC2 instance, which is here. Okay, and then I am going to output. Output basically means once I've deployed it, what do I want to, how do I put it? What results do I want to show to the public, right? I want to show the public IP address, because it's that public IP address that people can use to access the application. So if you create an EC2 instance on the management console, right, it's going to give you a public IP. So if you put the public IP on the internet, it means you can now access the application through that public IP, which is open to the internet, right? So that's what is happening here, right? So this is getting the attribute my EC2 instance, which is this EC2 instance dot the public IP. So it brings out the public IP of this EC2 instance. Great. But now there's a lot of vulnerabilities in this thing, right? So we have to in some way discuss it. I'm going to stop sharing now, and then if you can just open that template I sent to you via the GitHub. Okay, open it through GitHub. I don't know why my chat is not showing here. Yes, and then we'll discuss the vulnerabilities. So the first thing in terms of vulnerabilities is that what we did is we opened up the security group. All security groups was on port, the security group on SSH and HTTP allowed all traffic to come in, which is 0.0.0.0, which is wrong. Basically, that should be the particular IP addresses you want to come in. So you have to edit that to allow specific IP addresses and not IP addresses open to the world, right? And then another thing is that the elastic IP is associated with an EC2 instance, right? But there is no restriction who can access this elastic IP. So there needs to be some form of restrictions there. Do you get? So in a real world scenario, you should control access to elastic IP associations to prevent unauthorized reassignment, because someone can come now and reassign that same elastic IP to another instance, so you should not allow that. Okay, the next thing is missing IAM roles and policies, so there are no, it doesn't have IAM roles attached to it, right? So you should have IAM roles, meaning you should have specific roles or specific policies for that instance, which is important if you are following the principle of least privileges, like I said earlier, that grants only necessary permissions to any entity accessing that instance. Okay. And basically, there's one important thing. If you've created EC2 instances through the console, there's one thing that you must always do. You must always create a key pair. If you can't create a key pair, then you can't create that instance. So there's always a key pair attached to that instance, right? I look tired. It's because I am. It's because I am very tired at the moment, but we can do this. Let me show you guys my AWS shirt. Right. Okay. So yeah, so going back, so we said something about key pairs, right? So you if you've created an EC2 instance via the management console, right, you would need a key pair to SSH into that instance. You can't SSH without key pair. That's the security parameter, or the security parameter required for SSHing into any virtual machine or any instance, right? You need to have that key pair. So we didn't put that in that template. If you're following me, you check that template, you won't see any form of key pair attached to it. So another thing is, we need to talk about encryption. So there's nothing talking about encryption at rest or in transit, in any of that, So the template does not enable encryption at rest or yes, encryption at rest for the EBS volumes attached to it. So EBS volumes basically mean elastic block storage. So that's the storage. So imagine you have a computer now. Your computer needs to have an hard drive. So that EBS is the hard drive, right? Attached to it, right? So in terms of elastic block storage, your storage, right? You need to put some form of encryption, enabling it's best practice actually to just put some form of encryption to it, and then we have hard coded credentials. Do we have hard coded credentials there? I don't think we do have any hard coded credentials there. No, we don't. But anyways, I'm going to share my screen and I will show you another template. That yes, so this is second template. That's the EC2SG underscore parameters.yaml file. Now this template is secure. We implemented secure practice. Yeah, and we'll talk about it. Remember, I said something about key pairs, right? So here's what we did. We created a parameter section, okay? And in this parameter section, if you use, I don't want to talk about Terraform because Terraform is cloud agnostic here, but it's not AWS. So we need to talk about AWS. I don't want to compare both, but anyways, let's just go. In Terraform, these parameters are actually called variables, okay? So it means you attach variables or parameters in places where you can change them and manipulate them. This brings us back to the fact that this particular tool is very reliable, or this service is this CloudFormation is very very reliable, and you can automate things. You can make simple adjustments to automate things, to scale things, and easily deploy things. Some of the reasons why you can do that is because of parameters, right? So here now we want to implement just two or maybe two or three secure practice. The first thing now is key name. We have to create some form of key and then attach it to it. So we have the key name here. This is not where you create the key. This is just where you are creating the key name as a variable, so you can change it. This place where I have key name, do you understand? You can just change it to your key pair name, right? The second one here is SSH CIDR IP. Okay, so in this SSH CIDR IP, we have the default here as 0.0, which is allowing, that's default. But we created this parameter so that we can always somehow manipulate it and change it upon demand. We did that the same for here for HTTP. Now, where did we use this? Where did they come in? They come in very handy. I'll show you. Now, if you look here on line 19, line 19 here is referencing key name, which is here, right? So it means anything I put here is what would affect the template here as a key name, right? So I'm not exposing my key right here. It actually looks like I'm exposing my key. But you know, the good thing about keys is that you are the only person that can have the key, especially only if you send that key to someone else. So it means if you create an EC2 instance, that key pair, right, is on your own computer. Is on your own computer, is on your own AWS account. Do you get? So I don't, it doesn't mean you have the key. I can use AWS Secret Manager now to even just put the key there, but you get? So that's generally the idea. So there's a reference here from line 19 that references it here, right? So we're trying to separate parameters from the actual resources, right? And then attach those parameters to the resources, right? So here again, we're still referencing the SSA security group. We're referencing HTTP security group, right? Here we're referencing the resources, which is what we have here. So this line here that is showing error is not supposed to be an error. It's just VS Code that said it's an error. What this is just basically doing is that it's just creating, if you create an EC2 instance, you just want to add a file to it, or you just want to add a text. So once you hit that public IP address, there needs to be something showing. So that's what we did there in base 64. There's this bash script here, right, that is echoing hello world and is actually putting that hello world, this text, into this file called index.html. So by default, when you have a website, the default landing page is your index file. Index.html, index.php is the default landing page, right, of that website. So what we are basically just doing here is that we use a bash script from inside the template to write out this hello world. It can be anything you want. It can be a proper website, maybe you have a website somewhere, a code base, an HTML code base somewhere. You can just put that there, But what this is doing is it's just writing this hello world into this particular place inside this directory, right? So basically what happened there. Now, if we look at these security groups, initially in this CIDR IP, if we check the previous file, we had 0.0.0 there. But this time now, we are now referencing a variable. We're now referencing, a parameter, right? That's what we're doing here. We're now referencing the parameter here. So anything we put here is what is going to be here, right? You're just passing in those variables in. Now, I'll show you how we actually pass it. This is the same thing happening here, right? I'll show you. So there's another file there called parameters.json. So this is the file that now actually houses the values of those parameters. Do you understand? If you look here, all these things here, these are the defaults, default, 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 where the value that can actually change them is now in parameters.json. Do you get me? Remember, this is a YAML file and the parameters are written in a JSON format. So that's pretty much the idea around making sure things are secure. I'm going to stop sharing and I'll give you a last tip. I'll give you a last tip before we round up. So that's it basically. We'll just round up there. We'll round up there. It didn't end well because I meant to do a demonstration, but we'll just stop here for today because we are out of time. Gbemi, please come in.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Ukeme, for this for the wonderful section. I really learned a lot from it because normally me myself, I'm also trying to implement security into my infrastructure as code. Yeah, I can see your shirt. I can see your shirt. Yeah. Congratulations on that. Yeah. So I believe I believe everybody we got one or two things from our speaker from Sir Ukeme. Thank you for the wonderful section and everything. So it's time for us to move on. So it's quiz time. I believe you guys have jotted a lot of things from the slide and everything. So I hope you guys are ready. And then hopefully today we are going to be having new winners for our quiz. So yeah, just be ready for the quiz. So to join the quiz, just go to this link by your side there, or you can scan the QR code. Uh, Go to ourslide.com/gx. Yeah, then we dropped on the group chat. So you guys can join the link there. We are waiting for you. We are expecting you guys, and then we hope we have new winners today. Um, I don't know. I should be able to participate, but as the moderator said, so
You can't be winning. You can't.
yeah, I know that I can participate. Thank you, Samson. We are waiting for you guys, so let's do this quickly because we are already running out of time. LT, I can see you. I want you guys to join more people, please, so that we have a lot of people participating. Thank you, Olix. Thank you, Mayor. I hope you guys are ready to win the prize. You guys should come with your A game. We have 4 guys now. We are waiting for you guys. Kindly join, please. Come on, where are you guys? Where are you guys? I can still see 4, 5. Thank you, Mula. Should I start calling out names? Okay, Muhammad, Kennedy. Where is Mr. David from LinkedIn? That is David Akisoya. I hope you are there. Abdul Razak. Abdul Razak, if you are there, just drop an emoji. Okay. So Ukeme, I think when we get to like let's say 10, between 10 and 15, we can start because we are running out of time. Okay, yeah, David said he's joining. So we're about to start. Please do fast and join because if we are starting, you can't join back. All right, Abdul Razak, Olix, I can see you. I can see you. All right, it's time for us to start the quiz now. Let's start because we are running out of time.
The questions are easy.
Okay, very easy question. What does
Very
IaC stand
easy.
for in the context of AWS CloudFormation? Option A, infrastructure as code, integrated cloud, internet and cloud, then internet automation. I can't see that due to the distance. So uh, you have 45 seconds now to pick your answer. No, don't, South Kenya, don't worry. I will manage with that. Okay, everyone has answered. So can we show the answer now? Let's see how our people are like, how they are really. It should be show answer. Yes.
Wait, everybody
Oh,
got it.
okay. I think Olix was faster. What is happening? I think there's an issue with this. Okay. Yeah, question 2. Which AWS service allows manage and provision AWS resources using templates? I think we all know the answer to this. Yeah. I
Hmm.
already know my
I don't
answer.
know the answer. I don't know this answer.
I'm very sure you know the answer.
Ah, no, no, no,
This
no,
is
no,
an easy
it's too
peasy
hard.
question. So
It's
I
too
believe
hard
I'm
for me.
expecting
Oh my god.
everybody should get that.
Oh my god, this is too hard.
Very, very hard.
Ah, wait, how many
Okay.
seconds does it take?
To
Hey,
do this, we have less than 25 seconds now.
it's a lot of time oh, for this kind of question.
Question, seriously, seriously.
It's a
I'm
lot of
very
this.
sure. I'm very sure everybody has answered already. Yeah, everyone has answered. So let's show the results. Everybody picked cloud formation, and I think that is the
Nobody
right thing.
failed it.
Yeah,
Wow,
nobody failed.
you're all smart. You're very
Let's
smart.
see if Olix is still keeping. Wow, Olix
Olix, I know
nice
him
one.
personally. I know him
Yeah, Mayor
personally.
too. Mayor Abuchi Kingsley. Those guys are.
Kennedy too. I'm seeing them. Kennedy. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. What is the key? What is a key security consideration when integrating security checks into IaC template? So I think I don't know this, Ukeme. This is very, very hard. It's a tricky question for me.
I
I
know you
think I
don't
don't
know
know
it.
this.
These people are smart too.
Oh,
One person failed it.
I'm telling you, wow.
Hey,
Wow. Mayor is now
Olix is.
leading. Olix, why are you dropping the ball
Hey,
now? What is happening? Come on, you can still get it. Which of the following is not a best practice for the security of cloud formation? Okay, let's see if Olis has the chance to come up again, or is Mayor that will take away the prize.
hmm,
Saru Keme, who do you think is going to win this prize?
it's Mayor.
Who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting
It's
for
Mayor.
Mayor.
I don't think I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for
People
Olix.
are, Olix is
Olix.
yeah. It's Olix. It's
I'm
Olix.
rooting
I'm
for
rooting.
Olix. Yeah.
Only one
Why
person
are
got
you?
it.
Wow.
Ah, Olix is back.
I told you
Woo!
Olix is the winner. Wow.
Olix is
Nice one.
rocking.
Olix is up the top.
This is
So
the
the last
last
question.
question.
Yeah, let's see if Olix will maintain his champion. Why is implementing secure template design important in AWS CloudFormation? So let's see what you guys are going for. Olix, don't fall my hand. Oh. I'm waiting for
It's your
you.
guy that win. It's your guy that win. It's
I
your
thought you
guy.
were sticking with
No,
Mayor.
no, no. I'm Team Olix now.
You are Team Olix now.
I'm Team Olix.
Why? Why are you jumping ship?
I'll jump ship. I support the winning team.
Oh wow, nice, nice. That is good. That is good. Mayor, you need to work hard. Don't let your supporters be jumping ship because we are losing the rest. Wow, 8 people got it right, and then we have one each. So I think we
Wow.
have a few
Wow.
Olis. Congratulations, Olis. Congratulations,
Congrats.
congratulations. Yeah, we have
You know I was your fan.
a winner. So yeah, my fan lot is going to win the race. So congratulations to
No, no,
you,
it's my guy,
Olix.
yo. It's my guy. Olix is my guy.
Congratulations. I believe everyone has a lifetime. So, Mr. Olix, wherever you are, you can send your LinkedIn profile, your email, phone number, and then your Twitter handle to the email displayed on the side. We can get your price to you. And for others,
Is there a
and
second
also your
place?
picture. No, there, unfortunately, there's no second place. We are just rewarding the first. Thank you very much. I hope you all enjoy the session and everything like that. So, Mr. Olix, I believe you are going to. Okay, I can see a lot of people in the chat that's complaining about the first question. We will check the question and then we are listening to you. So we'll check it out and then revert back in the next question or in the next section. Or sir, would you like to um, review that question for us and then because a lot of people are like saying the
What happens to the question?
answer is kind of confusing and then
Go. Can you show the question? Or you've already ended the count?
okay. Unfortunately, I don't think we can go back to that. We will need to resolve that internally. We are really sorry
Okay.
about that. So, yeah, as it stands, Ukeme, we are going to stick with Olix as our win. So, because we are already running out of time, kindly do the normal thing and send us your details as shown in the on your screen to that email AWS CloudSec
Oh, it's true.
West
It's
Africa
true,
at Gmail.
actually.
Okay.
It's true. There's actually a problem with that fourth question. There's actually
Okay.
a problem there. Maybe later we'll review it,
So
but
do
we'll
you
have to
mind?
leave. Do I
Yeah,
mind
we
what?
have to leave. Or do
We
you
have to
mind
leave.
sharing light on the last question? Probably we
Yes.
are not taking that into account. You just tell us the
Okay, so with that question now, we're supposed to which of the following is not wait regularly viewing and
best
updating templates.
practice.
Well, everybody got it now. So what's the problem with the question? It's not a best practice for AWS storing. Yes, now. So there's nothing wrong with this question actually. There's nothing wrong with it. Now storing
No, they
sensitive
said
information in your
question
password.
four.
Is this not question
Yeah,
4? There's
yeah, I
nothing
think
wrong
this
with
is
the
the last.
question.
Okay.
Okay.
No, no,
Is
no. I'm
this
saying the
okay?
fourth answer is wrong.
What question? Is this not question 4?
Yeah, the last question. Yeah.
This is question 4 now. There's nothing wrong with this
Talking
question.
about question five. Question five.
Question 5. Okay, can you show question 5, please?
I think this is it.
Why is implementing
No, I
secure
don't think this
templates
is.
important? It's correct now. These are correct questions. There's
Okay,
nothing
Taiwo,
wrong
if
there.
I
This is
can
the
get you
answer.
right, the answer is picked. The answer picked is C, which is the wrong answer, and the correct answer. Can you just specify the question? Okay, is Taiwo is saying the question that has problem is question four. Let's go back to that question four, please. Okay, and then
Which of the following is not a best practice?
yeah, not a best practice. So they are saying the option that you chose that the right option is C, but
C.
that is not the correct option.
Using
The
AWS
correct answer
identity. Now the correct answer is what?
is B.
Yes, now the answer is B now. But what?
But you pick the option as option C as the
As
answer.
the answer. Oh, okay, okay, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. The answer is actually B. Sorry about that. Liverpool and Tottenham.
Okay.
That's what happened to Liverpool and Tottenham.
Okay, VAL, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So there.
I
Yeah.
don't think we can say the quiz is inconclusive because at the end of the fourth question, I think it was Olix that was already leading in that part. So we can still declare Olix as our winner. So Sir Olix, please send your details to the screen above you, and then we'll get your reward up to you. Thank you, everybody. We are already out of time, so we are hoping you join us next time to continue this series. Good night. Mr. Ukeme for taking us to action. Please, social media, you can always follow us using the link tree link that you are seeing here. Thank you very much. Wonderful night rest, everyone. Bye.
Great job, bro. You did a good job. Bye. Okay, wait.
Bye,
What
sir.
are we waiting for? Our guy said we should wait.
Okay.
No, now.
All right. According to our boss, that is being, we were told to declare the um, inconclusive. So that is what we will be doing. I don't know. This is management issues and everything
Yeah.
like that. I think whatever decision,
So we're waiting for Oga.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, I think the consensus is we should make the quiz conclusive. So we don't have a winner yet today. I hope you guys we are sorry about
Sorry,
the
Alex.
question and everything. Us, you guys should come prepared next time, and then we too will do our checks and everything like that. We really apologize for this
Sorry
error.
about that.
So see you guys next time. Thank you.